Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of The Faux Show. Today is Wednesday, December 5th. My name is Angela.
My name is Chris.
And as most of you know, The Faux Show is not a real show. It is a social experience because I don't look at you. I look at the chat room, which I have here on my iPad. It has a stand now.
Ah, nice. It's adorable, too. I've got the chat room full screen on my screen.
It's over there on a monitor where we can see ourselves, and it's on this monitor, too.
Hey, chat room. Thanks for joining us.
But...
rock, paper, scissors? Okay, rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Okay, rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Okay, go on. We gotta get through this. Rock, paper, scissors. All right, okay, go.
Go what?
You get to say it's in the best lower third.
Best lower third.
On the internet, the jblive.tv chat room, which I have condensed into this lower third using some really special engineering, actually.
Yep, I'm losing my voice, so.
Yeah, actually, tonight's episode of The Faux Show is going to be very faux. That's
Yeah.
your line. I took that. But
Yep.
we almost weren't going to have an episode, but we wanted to show up for you guys and have something for you to watch, for those of you who like to tune in every single week.
Yerp.
It was a tough day. It's actually been a tough week. I got sick kids. You're kind of getting a little sick.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we decided we had enough content that we could still have a pretty fun show.
Yup. So tonight, what happened to my link? There it is.
Yeah, there you
We're
go.
going to start the show with bacon, right?
Nice,
Because
nice.
it's the only logical thing.
I agree. What do we got?
All right. So this guy says, when I was young, Lard Baron, when I was young, my father said to me, knowledge is power, Francis Bacon. I understood it as knowledge is power, France is bacon. For more than a decade, I wondered over the meaning of the second part and what was the surreal linkage between the two. If I had said the quote to someone, knowledge is power, France is bacon, they nodded knowingly. Or someone might say, knowledge is power, and I'd finish the quote, France is bacon.
Yeah.
And they would look at me. They would look at me like I'd said something very odd, but thoughtfully agreed. I did ask a teacher what knowledge is power, Francis Bacon meant, and got a full 10-minute explanation of the knowledge is power bit, but nothing on Francis Bacon.
Wow.
When I prompted further explanation by saying Francis Bacon in a questioning tone, I just got a yes. At 12, I didn't have the confidence to press it further. I just accepted it as something I'd never understand.
Figured bacon science.
It wasn't until years later I saw it written down that the penny dropped.
Well, there you go.
It's Francis Bacon that said knowledge is power. And now that I've read that to you, you have a little bit of faux knowledge.
Yeah, and something that
because of us.
Something maybe you have thought yourself, right?
What?
Perhaps. All right, now, are you going to lose your voice this episode?
I might.
Well, if you lose your voice, I'm taking over, and I'm going to just probably turn into something else completely different. All right, so where do we start with? Because I know you kind of had kind of a theme for the first part of today's episode, and I don't want to step on that.
Well, just, misused words and stuff.
Misused words and phrases, perhaps. Oh, whoa,
Yes.
whoa.
Sorry.
Gonna cough. I got to use that microphone.
I did it off to the side.
All right, what do you got?
No, not this one.
Oh,
Hold
okay. All right, well, that's fine. Faux snap. Oh, yeah, I could have Alan call and we could do faux snap.
So one of the things that you say wrong all the time,
Me?
yeah, is especially.
Oh, I do not.
Yes, you do.
Well, at least not for the last year.
Oh yeah.
I worked on it ever since
you retrained. Okay.
Well, you just stepped all over my ball
I did.
sack.
I think I did it on a faux show, even.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm pretty
in the
sure I did.
public. Yeah. It stung.
Yeah,
It stung.
yeah.
Yeah, it stung. Yeah, especially.
Especially.
Yeah,
There's
I hear
no
that-
X in it. Yeah.
I hear that all the time.
Or
it's almost.
espresso.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So I lost the original link that has
All the stuff you're going to use for the show tonight?
No, not all, for all the show, but anyway, nuclear.
Oh, nuclear.
So this one says, see how many U's there are in there?
This is a really common one, and it's hard because a lot of people pronounce it wrong, so then it gets in your head. I mean, I've done this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the word balsamic.
You mean Balsac?
But yeah. So the L comes before the S. Balsamic.
Balsac.
Not balsamic.
Okay. Balsac.
Yeah.
Espresso. We know that.
Yeah,
one.
we did the espresso. The word supposedly.
Yeah.
A lot of, especially kids, they like to say it with a B.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Oh. I work with somebody that always says supposedly. Like there's an extra,
without a D?
like there's like an is in there, supposedly. Yeah, without the D, supposedly.
Wow.
Supposedly.
Wow.
Like, no, you got a D in there. It's like they're putting an EZ in there or something. Suppose. Shut up with the supposedly.
Okay, so people say jewelry. I mean, you say jewelry because it's jewel and re, right?
Jewelry.
But people say I can't even say.
I got jewelry.
I can't say it wrong.
I got jewelry over here. I got jewelry over here. I got
jewelry. Jewelry.
Hmm.
Anyway, I can't say it wrong. Anyway, okay, so triathlon,
Yeah.
decathlon, biathlon. Just don't say wait.
Mischievous. But the chat room had a whole bunch of really good ones.
Oh, that's really weird. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They came up with the.
Well, here's one we kind of came up with. What do you think of this? Did you know that with Apple products, the Apple Store retail employees are not allowed to say the?
Really?
And if you notice in front of the product name, and if you notice Apple's like publications and PR, a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times, they'll exclude. They won't say the iPhone. They'll say iPhone is a revolutionary smartphone.
Wow.
Or they'll say iPad is a magical tablet.
I wonder if you get like a free case or something if you point out that they said the.
And so Gizmodo here has the Apple Genius Training Handbook that's been leaked for the Apple Store employees.
Cool.
Yeah, and in there it says don't refer to it as the. Don't put
wow.
the. Yeah. So
crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, what do you got over there?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if there's
something amazing.
Okay, so mischievous. People like think of the word mischief, and so they say mischievous, like with a f, but it's supposed to be a v. So that's all.
Good one. All right. Okay.
Now
we have a swollen mail sack that we wanted to get to. Do you want to jump to that?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But I will skip that. Okay, common wrong phrases.
I mean, it's just this mail sack is big.
busting at the seams.
Yeah.
I know. We'll get to it in just a minute. Okay, so I couldn't care less, not I could care less.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Chat room was complaining about that.
I'm pretty sure that I messed that up.
Yeah, you do.
Wow.
Well, we were talking about this earlier with the chat room and I on the live stream, and we came to the determination that you do.
Well, okay, so the thing is, like, I could care less. Like, that sounds like it's fine to me.
Well, I mean, yeah, you probably could care less.
Yeah.
I mean, like, because if you cared at all, because the fact that you're even protesting indicates you care.
Okay. A moot point, not a mute point.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like, actually, the last couple times I've used the word moot, people have been like, wait, did you just say moot?
Really?
Yeah.
Like, people don't know that?
Yeah. No.
Damn it, people.
So,
damn it.
Yeah. Anyway, for all intents and purposes, not for all intensive purposes.
Nobody gets that one wrong. Who?
Go F yourself, they do.
Who would get that wrong?
Are you serious?
What kind of human being on the face of God's green earth would get that wrong? What kind of person, what kind of monster?
Nip it in the bud, not nip it in the butt.
Okay, but I like nip it in the butt better.
Yeah, so there's quite a difference between stopping something before it flowers and biting someone's bum. I like that description.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, nip it in the bud, like prevent it from growing.
Chat room's on agrees with you. People are saying that they hear people say that wrong all the time.
Yeah, all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
Without further ado, not without further ado. I would totally spell this wrong. I didn't know ADO was a word.
Okay, yeah, I would have gotten that wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely. I am not Mr. Pronunciation over here.
No, you're not.
I am so far from Mr. Pronunciation.
ADO means fuss. So you've been just faux learned. Adieu, ADIEU, means farewell.
Yes.
So
I bid you adieu.
You don't say without further farewell.
I bid you adieu.
Yeah. Without further goodbye. That doesn't make sense.
No.
So without further fuss.
Why don't we just say that?
I know, right? Piques one's interest, not pique one's interest. So it's with a QU.
Okay.
And I didn't actually know that. I mean, I know about the word Pique,
Mm-hmm.
but that particular phrase, I didn't know.
I didn't know either.
Deep-seated belief, not deep-seated belief. And this is, people think seated because it's,
Planted in there
Yeah.
deep, and then it's grown into this belief
exactly.
system. Yeah.
Yeah. But so something that's deep-seated is situated far below the surface.
Oh.
Of course, a deep seed would also be situated far below the surface.
Right. Kind of
Grammarist.
still understandable, really.
Grammarist.com states the correct phrase comes from horseback riding, not gardening or farming.
Son of a gun.
Champing at the bit, not chomping at the bit.
So it is champing at the bit. I thought it was. And then so many people say chomping. I switched to chomping. I switched to chomping incorrectly.
Switch back.
So I've been champing at the bit to give you a high five. Boom!
I just coughed in that hand. All right. Never ceases to amaze me, not never ceases to amaze me. Okay, that one's really stupid. If you do that, I don't want to talk to you. Just kidding. What? Really? No way.
No, I don't.
Okay. Reap what you sow, not reap what you sow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was pwned so hard on this a couple years ago at sewing night.
Really?
Yeah.
First of all, I think you just revealed to the people that you go to something called sewing night. So just...
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so,
What is it, Andrews? Are you
What?
reading the chat room?
Bilbo just said I'm wrong and posted a link.
Boom.
At Grammarist.com.
Instant correction. There's also...
For the champing at the bit thing.
Well, okay, good, because this
Look, I opened it 3 times.
This is one that I felt really embarrassed about when you said it, so I'm glad this is...
Look, it's not there now.
Yeah, that first tab was just a little tease.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's Chrome. Chrome is a web browser made by the Google Corporation. They sell ads.
Chomping at the bit. One definition of bit is a metal mouthpiece used for controlling a horse.
Right.
Okay. These are the senses meant in champing at the bit, which refers to blah blah. The idiom is usually written chomping at the bit, and some people consider this spelling wrong, but chomp can also mean to bite or chew noisily. Okay. Nah.
No. Actually, so what that's saying is it's actually both work. As somebody who grew up with horses, I know exactly what they're talking about. The horses just gnaw on that bit.
Okay. Well, anyway, reap what you sow, reap what you sow. Okay.
So
there I was. And anytime I do a project, like around the house project or a sewing project, I do it fantastically, but I always do something wrong and end up have to redoing part of it. I know, right? Like I use the wrong piece of hardware, or whatever. So I had to reap what I had sown, right? And so I said, I'm reaping what I sow, doing the whole liar, liar song, Jim Carrey, woo. And anyway, and somebody's like, no, that's not the right kind. You are reaping it, but it's not reaping what you sow. Anyway, it's supposed to be SOW, which is a farming term. Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's not a sewing term. Yep.
Yeah,
okay. Once in a
you reap what you sow. That makes sense.
Once in a while, not once and a while, which totally makes sense to me. In layman's terms, not in lame man's terms.
No.
I say potato on that.
No.
Sure.
No.
Yeah.
No. Nobody gets that wrong. Anybody that gets that wrong is a failure of the human race.
I know, but to me it seems like it works either way.
Layman, lame man.
So yeah, no, I know. A layman is someone who lacks specialized knowledge on a topic, right?
Yes.
That's a lame man.
Well, okay, all right, I got you. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right? All right. In the midst of, not in the midst of, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Off the beaten path, not off the beat and path. Okay, that's fine.
Is that a masturbating?
No.
Oh.
Okay, out of body experience, not outer body experience. Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's because of the movie.
Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, so those are just a couple of fun phrases.
All right. Now you ready?
Yeah?
Yeah, I got to think.
Okay.
I just want to say, so of course, everybody knows. We mention this all the time because, well, why does Chris talk about this all the freaking time, man? What do you think? You have any ideas why I mention The fact that we have affiliates constantly.
Well, because you can support Jupiter Broadcasting without spending any money specifically on us.
That's true, without impacting the budget, as one might say. If you go to
Yeah.
jupiterbroadcasting.com, scroll down to the bottom of jupiterbroadcasting.com.
Boom.
We have links down there for Amazon US, Amazon UK, Amazon DE, eBay, Netflix, Newegg, ThinkGeek, Best Buy, Mint.com, Audible.com, which is amazing. I fucking love Audible. Code School,
They
Chrome
can't see
extension,
it.
and the Firefox extension. I know that.
Okay.
They know where it's at. If they want to see it, they go to jupiterbroadcasting.com. They scroll down to the bottom. I don't want to show it to them because they need to go see it themselves before they do their holiday shopping. Click that. Now, maybe you're not going to buy anything for anybody. Maybe you got all your holiday shopping done and you want a little recommendation. Well, let me tell you something, folks. Star Trek The Next Generation Season 2 out on the Blu-ray. Heather from Sci-Fi put this on my radar, and let me tell you something. These Star Trek things, these seasons, usually over $100. This one, boom, $64.99 on the Amazon.com in the Blu-ray high definitions format. Check that out. If you want to grab that, you will support the faux show. But really, if you just use those links or the Firefox or Chrome extensions, guess what? Bam! You'll support this network while you're doing your shopping.
Without even having to think about it.
That whole time, you're supposed to be getting the mail sack image up. That whole time. Not only that, but we discussed it before the show.
I had an eyelash in my eye.
That's true.
And I've had a...
All right, you ready?
Okay.
It's time for the Jupiter mail sack. Mail sack.
There it is.
What do you got on the mail sack?
Okay.
What is our first email today? And people can email us either by sending an email to Angela@jupiterbroadcasting.com or going to Jupiter Broadcasting, hitting that contact link up at the top right, and just choosing general comments.
Okay. Ken writes, we are holding the 2nd annual New Year Ogcasters party and would be thrilled if you could call in and say hello. Many of our community members subscribe to TLAS, the Linux Action Show. So it would be fantastic to have you call in and wish people a Happy New Year.
Oh, okay. So they're doing like a live thing?
Yep. It starts on Monday, December 31st, 1200 UTC, and runs until 1200 on Tuesday, January 1st.
What does that mean Pacific time?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. All right. If anybody in the chat room knows what 1200 UTC is.
For PST, that would be great. Anyway, it's a mumble thing, and don't be worried if you can't stay up, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
That would be cool. So what do I do now? Okay. Okay, so they have more information. hackerpublicradio.org.
Yep.
Now, Hacker Public Radio is actually really cool. They will release a ton of Creative Commons stuff, and they have a bunch of different stuff on there that like are from different people, so it's really cool. You know what? I'd be a lot of fun, assuming I'm sober, or even not.
All right. So Ian writes, hey guys, just making a site suggestion from a usability standpoint.
Okay.
I think it would be good if you added a next and previous button for linking the pages of one show episode to another. I wanted to go through the Coder Radio episodes to collect the book of the week entries, and I'm finding it hard. I can imagine plenty of others would like to skip through the show notes for other reasons and in other shows, so maybe you could consider adding that functionality.
That's an interesting idea. Now, we were experimenting with where the video player is at, having big old arrows on each side of the video, of the embedded video, and then you'd hit that, and it would swap out the current one and bring in the new video. But the problem was it wouldn't change the show notes. And so we went back and forth, and we decided, that's probably not a good idea. So the idea would be at the bottom of the show notes, a next button that would take you to the next show. That's probably a great idea. I don't know technically how to do that, but it's something worth looking into.
Yep. All right. Tom writes, just watched your Unfiltered show, and I'm so glad there's a show like yours telling of these topics and hidden agendas.
Boom!
I also agree with the email from Ed regarding archive of live chat available on the website for all shows on Jupiter Broadcasting.
Crap.
I think this is a great idea, especially for those of us who can't always make the live shows, just like myself, who live in different time zones. It also gives another reason for people to check out the website and perhaps click on other shows or remind them of the affiliate links. Anyway, the idea is a great one. If possible, please put this on your site, as I, too, have looked for this in the past for several different shows.
This is interesting.
Yeah?
Well, people keep asking for the transcript of the chat room.
I know. It's pretty crazy. I don't know if I feel comfortable about, I mean, I know it's public. It's a public chat room, but, like, posting everybody's random musings, I don't know.
Right. But you could also just log into the chat room and just idle and log the whole damn thing.
Yeah, that's true.
But I've suggested that, and people still want it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start thinking about it. So you guys, let us know what you want and email in and tell us, because that's something to consider. The other thing is like shows like SciByte, Unfiltered, and Coder Radio have it in their video to begin
with. Right. Yeah.
So why grab the text file unless you wanted, I don't know, unless maybe you wanted to click on a URL.
Okay.
Let me know.
So that's not the end of what Tom writes. Tom also writes, also, it's great that you have the calendar, but as a foreigner living in Asia, it defaults to Asian language that I cannot easily translate as embedded into the English webpage. If this can be sorted, great, or get an additional indicator like next show is in blank hours and minutes of time.
Yeah. Okay. We could add that to the calendar page. Now, if you go over to jblive.tv, we do have, before every live show, we have a countdown timer that tells you. So you just load the Flash player or the RTSP stream or the HLS stream, and it will tell you in a countdown when the next live show is. Aside from that, on the jupiterbroadcasting.com/calendar, where we have our calendar page, you can also subscribe to the calendar via RSS or Google or iCal or whatever you want, and it will translate it to your time zone on your calendar. So that's something to consider too.
All right. Oh, I think /.tom, I think that's Tom that we're talking about in the chat room.
Now, he is right. It is easier to search, and it would be easier to click links. So I can kind of see that.
Okay, so he continues to write. Actually, while I'm on the subject, and since it's now December, so you probably have nothing better to do, regardless of which jupiterbroadcasting.com page someone lands on, be that a direct link or from a search on Google, have a message display that the network in part provides great content because of the support of the great audience. So please consider adding affiliate add-ons or monthly subscriptions to be part of this greatness. Like, that would be the phrase. So presumably it'd be done via a cookie that expires and refreshes every 24 hours. Therefore, the message would only display once in the 24-hour period. I don't think that would be too intrusive at all. I wouldn't mind at all. Perhaps put it to a vote after checking how feasible it is to do. So, yeah, just something saying, hey, we're supported by you. And
I don't want to be spammy, but yeah.
I know, yeah. All right. Cheez-It writes, I'm a big fan of several shows on the JB Network. Coder Radio, what do you think of the PAAS stacks, i.e. Heroku? Do you use / recommend them? That might be a question for Michael, huh?
So did he send that into the general contact?
Yeah.
Well,
but he also has a tech snap and an unfiltered question here.
So. Yeah, all right. Well, we'll save that for Coder Radio then, because that's fine. So the TechSnap / Coder Radio will cloud infrastructure / PAS services eventually replace most systems administration jobs? So the hard thing about, so I guess the basic question is, so right now, if you think of business, you go in there, they usually have a few file servers, they have a print server, they might have a domain controller or DNS or LDAP or whatever they might have. And then maybe they use hosted email, hosted spam filtering, maybe Google Docs even, something like that. But the problem is when the internet goes down, that stuff don't work. And the other problem is if you have a few hundred users, it's hard to scale an internet connection to that. So I think local still has quite a while, but I think it's going to diminish. There you go.
Okay. And so then he has an unfiltered question that I'm not sure you'll really be able to answer, but basically he says, we're in the process of buying a house with help from a family member. The family member and her siblings recently inherited money from their mother's passing. We are inching closer to the closing date, but the bank is really putting up roadblocks and insists seeing the complete money trail of their gift, I guess. The bank claims Homeland Security is regularly screening large money transactions.
I bet he has gold.
And one of the siblings invested most of his inheritance in oil, stock, and gold.
Yep.
The trade was put on hold and also screened by Homeland Security. These family members, as far as he knows, are upstanding citizens with no criminal background. This is all coming secondhand. My question is, WTF is going on?
Boy, I couldn't say what's going on, but I'll tell you.
It's hard to say, but
just watching for Unfilter, I've noticed a lot of reports of people who have investments in gold getting hung up when they're doing mortgage stuff.
That's crazy.
I don't know what's up with that. I haven't heard any people
because they have real value, real money.
Yeah,
kinda cash money,
and they just want to know about it. They want to know who has real money. That's what it is.
Crazy.
But I haven't heard of anybody not getting their loan because of that.
Yeah.
But they are slowing things down, yeah. It's pretty wild.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, so next week it's the awards show, and I wanted you to create some kind of background. And when I say create, it doesn't have to be fancy or, but just make something that we can use as our background here. And what's the dimensions?
1280 by 720 if possible, or 1920 by 1080.
Yep. And if you don't know how to do that, we'll figure it out. Just send something in. I've had a few submissions of people just sending in some of their favorite pictures they've taken, which is neat. You know, I don't know if I'll do a show with your cat behind me, but
yes, we will. Yes, we will do that.
And then some people have taken some meme and put Chris's head on it. So
really,
yes, it's great.
Yes.
But we will do a show with that behind us. So in fact, maybe that will be the background for next week.
Has anybody put my head on David Hasselhoff's body and sent it in?
Oh, should we tell them what happened?
Yes. Yes, we should. Yes, we should. Yes, we should.
Okay, go. Do it.
Well, so Dylan.
This is why you're watching the faux show to the end, because of this right here.
Dylan has recently become a fan of SpongeBob SquarePants, the movie. The 2004, 2006. There's a squad. Not the TV show. Actually, he doesn't like the TV show at all. He refuses to watch the TV show. He likes the movie, though. And so I sat down and watched it. It's actually a pretty good movie. Well, I won't spoil it for you, but there's a scene in the movie where David Hasselhoff comes to the rescue, as David Hasselhoff tends to do. And so I leaned over to Ange at some point.
No. So we were at dinner.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
After he'd been watching it like all day, or at least a couple times.
And I asked you, do you know who David Hasselhoff is?
And I said, yeah, he wrote The Simpsons, right?
And I said, no, honey. David Hasselhoff did not write The Simpsons.
And I was like, oh no.
So did you figure it out pretty quick? You figured it out pretty quick.
Yeah, I did. And I was like, oh yeah, he was the guy on America's Got Talent. And then I remembered, oh yeah, and then he did music in the 80s. And oh yeah, he was Baywatch guy.
And
Back to the Future.
Angela, do not.
No. What? And what?
Do not screw with Back to the Future. Do not screw with Back to the Future.
No, I was joking.
Knight Rider, yo.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know
Rider.
anything about Knight Rider. No, I don't know anything about it.
Well, we're going to take care of that in a future episode of The Faux Show. But that is it for this week's episode of The Faux Show. Now,
Except email your submissions, Angela@JupiterBroadcasting.com. Cutoff is Friday. Send it in by Friday to be in next week's award show. Here we go.
We are live on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific over at jblive.tv, and we'd love you to have you join us and participate in our live IRC chat room. And thank you to the live chat room for joining us over at jblive.tv.
Yes, thank you for being patient.
Yes, you guys are awesome. So, all right, there you go. That's it.
All right.
Aren't you going to say see you next week?
We will see you next week. Don't forget, you can catch recent episodes of The Faux Show on JupiterBroadcasting.com/Faux Show. Also, get them on demand in the iTunes store. Search for Faux Show.